All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this dynamic story analysis. Today we're stepping straight into a cinematic, highly dramatic world to break down the ultimate battle of a truly legendary anti-hero. We are going to examine the climax of the Ghost Rider narrative, pulling directly from some incredibly intense source material. We'll trace the whole journey from absolute denial to overwhelming acceptance, and watch how a hero is literally forged in the fires of his own personal hell. So grab a seat and get focused, because this explainer is going to take you on a wild ride. Okay, let's dive into this incredible moment. I will live with this curse and use it against you. I will fight fire with fire. Man, that single line instantly establishes the massive stakes of our story, doesn't it? It represents the ultimate transformation of Johnny Blaze. But, he doesn't start here, no. This quote is the destination. It's the hard-won realization of a guy who discovers he just can't outrun his demons, so he decides to weaponize them instead. To really understand how he gets to this epic declaration, we have to look back at where he started. Part 1. An unwanted curse. Picture this. Johnny is metaphorically and very physically trapped. During a super tense police interrogation, he completely denies committing any murders, kind of humorously deflecting by saying he just wants to be a motorcycle cop when his stunt career wraps up. He gets thrown into a jail cell with hardened criminals, totally mocked by thugs who call him a monkey in a cage because his face matches a famous stunt rider. And yet, he completely refuses to fight back. He just begs to be left alone. He is completely rejecting his dark reality, wanting absolutely nothing to do with the violent spirit inside him. Part 2. The Ancestor's Legacy. So here's where things get really interesting, because we see the absolute thematic contrast between our protagonist and our antagonist. The caretaker reveals a huge truth. Blackheart is searching for the contract of San Venganza, an item so evil it literally must be kept hidden. But why is Johnny the only one who can stop him? Well, look at their underlying motivations. Johnny sold his soul for love. It was a selfless act that, paradoxically, grants him the power to change the world. Blackheart, on the other hand? He's driven entirely by greed and is completely blinded by his own arrogance. The caretaker points out that because Johnny's original bargain was rooted in love rather than just pure selfishness, he possesses this unique spirit, a spirit that makes him the ultimate threat to Blackheart's reign. With that realization clicking into place, the pacing of our story absolutely skyrockets into a final, action-packed journey. We start with pure adrenaline, evading the police in spectacular fashion by driving a motorcycle straight up a skyscraper. No way, right? Then, the pivotal handoff occurs. The caretaker reveals the hidden contract to Johnny, realizing Johnny is the one destined to end the curse. And then we get that visually stunning midnight sequence, the 500-mile last ride to San Venganza, with the caretaker taking one final glorious ride right alongside him. Johnny has finally stopped running from his fate and starts riding directly toward it. Part 3. The Pinnacle of Evil. Right before the final showdown, we witness the terrifying peak of the villain's power. Blackheart boasts, "Now I am super powerful because we are many." He actually successfully gets his hands on the San Venganza contract and absorbs the dark souls trapped within it. In his mind, he's already won. He truly believes he has ascended to the status of an unstoppable god, drawing on the collective power of thousands of wicked spirits. The tension here is just palpable. How do you defeat an entity that contains an entire legion of evil within him? Part 4. Atonement of Sins. Let's break down this masterful narrative flip because it is absolutely crucial. First, Blackheart absorbs the 1,000 evil souls, achieving his ultimate goal. In doing so, he seemingly gains absolute, overwhelming physical power. He's knocking Johnny around, he seems completely unbeatable. But here is the ironic defeat. As a demon, Blackheart previously had no soul, which made Johnny's ultimate weapon completely useless against him. But by greedily absorbing those 1,000 souls, Blackheart ironically gained a soul. Actually, scratch that, he gained 1,000 of them. By taking exactly what he so desperately wanted, the villain gave Johnny the specific vulnerability needed to take him down. Feel their pain, stained with the blood of innocence. This is the emotional weight of the entire narrative crashing down on the villain all at once. Johnny forces Blackheart to look into his eyes and experience the agonizing pain of all his victims simultaneously. It's not a punch, it's not some giant magical blast that defeats the ultimate evil. It's the sheer, crushing weight of his own sins reflected right back at him. It is just a beautifully poetic resolution. Part 5. Curse becomes a boon. So let's connect this back to what we've been talking about today. Johnny weaponizes his darkest struggle, choosing to keep the curse to protect the innocent. He's actually offered the chance to have his soul returned, to walk away and just be completely normal. But he refuses. He remembers the father he lost, and he remembers all the innocents out there who need protecting. He realizes that this terrible burden, this fiery curse that had him feeling trapped like a monkey in a cage, is actually the perfect tool to fight back against the darkness. He takes his greatest burden and transforms it into his life's defining purpose. That's a real game changer. Which leaves us with this final, profound thought to ponder. If you had a curse, maybe a heavy burden, a painful past, or a profound struggle, would you have the courage to bear it for the good of the world? Can you take the very thing that haunts you and use it as fuel to protect others? It's a question that makes this whole story so much more than just a flashy action spectacle. It's a real lesson on resilience and purpose. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer today. I really hope this breakdown gave you a fresh perspective on this incredible story.